I remember we were on a Wednesday prayer night, and Brad was sharing with us that we can either sign the lease to this building that we're currently in, that we are sharing on the other side of Ventura, or we can really basically begin to walk by faith and have no home until we find a place to be. And I remember Brad had the lease papers in a manila envelope, and he put it on the altar. And after we prayed, I just remember standing up and sharing, there's no point for us to be in this if we're not trusting God, if we're not really following Him.
We went to prayer and he said, I just feel it. We're gonna be a church without a building. This is like December 2019. And I was like, I do not receive that. Like I have no vision in my mind for a church outdoors or a church in a home. Like that's just, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this in a building. And then COVID hits and we lose our building. And then we go out into the beach and we start worshiping.
There's nothing there except for a banner that said Jesus. And it was it. The Holy Spirit fell, and it was just a bunch of people, just loving Jesus the best that they could. And there was no performance or show behind it. It was just raw and authentic, and it felt freeing.
And we just began to, one by one, tear down the idols of church in our life.
We saw healings at the beach, we saw salvation at the beach.
We got there one Sunday and it was like, all right, it's time to go.
We had to cling to Jesus. And what's interesting is we haven't let go.
In every believer, there's like this deep desire for the more of God where we're not meant to be satisfied playing in the shallow end.
We literally did not know where we were going to go or what we were going to do, and to have a phone call come in during the week and the theater open was just, it was just incredible.
It's pretty much been the Lord opening one door and us stepping through it every step of the way since then.
I think the waiting season for the building has shown us that we don't need a building.
I think that the people are what have made the church, not the buildings or the homelessness. We didn't have a place, but we had people.
To go from the theater to the ACC building and just see the growth. It is the people that has made every spot feel like home.
I want to put a picture, it's just a really basic picture of a building that we just signed a 5-year lease on with the option to extend an additional 5 years. You guys right now see a building. I see fishes and loaves.
For me, my perspective has always been from the very first day that this is absolutely ours. And the second we first saw it, Brad and I, as we were driving, and we saw the 2 palm trees in front of the building, that this building was ours. You talk about the beach, you talk about the theater, you talk about Avenue Community Church, but the most important part is that we get to share a story where God has had His hand on us this entire journey.
It was literally an impossibility the second we stepped in. There was no way outside of the provision of God being dropped from heaven for us to do this. We had no money.
All we had left, we gave, and then He created this.
I feel like it's just been this thing that's been in the future where we're you drive by it on our, it's always we're on the avenue every day. We're there's the future of 2 trees. It's going to be in there one day. And
if you look at church analytics, how many churches survive 6 years with actually not having a place? 2 Trees has never had their own building since 2018.
This building is just a representation of what He's done to thousands of lives of people who have entered this ministry.
And we're just His hands and feet to serve. It's brought people to tears, it's brought people to church, it's really been healing for a lot of people.
This is an inheritance. It's not just for us now, it's for our kids and their kids.
And God is just blowing up in the next generation. We will see revival through our church, through these kids. The next revival of the youth is coming.
People are going to find family here. We know kids are going to grow up here. People are going to get married here. People are going to have sorrow here. There's going to be so many things of just life and things that are going to happen in this place.
It's going to free people from sin. It's going to free people from addiction. It's going to restore families. I think it's going to give people hope. It's going to give people life, because ultimately this is just a huge vehicle that people are going to be able to come step in and have a safe place to get to know who Jesus is. But I don't think it stops in Ventura. I think what's happening here, the Holy Spirit wants to take around the globe, and I think that this is just going to be almost like a hub for His presence to go out.
It's a house of worship. It's a house of prayer. This is a refuge for people. I believe God is bringing a revival spirit to California. I think that we're going to see salvations, and we're going to see people come to Christ like we've never seen before. I think what's in front of us is going to be so big that none of us can take credit for it. I think what's in front of us is going to be awe and wonder, and it's going to be beautiful. And it's scary, but I'm happy to do it.